a special thing coming up, a special guest interview, and I saw that people suddenly flooded into the room. They must have heard something about this. So, in 1961, there was a very poignant interview done. This was during the Kennedy era. And it was not Kennedy and Khrushchev. It was far more important than that. It was actually Carl Reiner interviewing a 2,000-year-old man named Mel Brooks. And Mel told us about his loves and his life, his language and his laughter. And we learned about life for the last 2,000 years. And it was just a lovely, important interview. And we're very fortunate today to have something similar here. The 2,000-year-old man, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but we have a 2,000-year-old copepod. So please welcome the 2,000-year-old copepod. This should be fun. Alright, sorry, I just have to get my interview notes straightened out here. Can you all hear us okay? Alright, good. So, thank you for coming. Could you tell us your name?
Pod.
Pod.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Welcome, Pod. How did you get here?
Well, I took a cab.
Oh, of course. I mean, how did you get onto land?
Oh, onto land. Well, I was just hanging out, you know, kind of in the mid-water, and I was in diapause or menopause or manopause or one of those things. And all of a sudden I felt like a tugging around me, a kind of a rope, and I was pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled out onto I think a ship. They put me on the deck, and they were like, wow, this is crazy. We've never seen a copepod this big. Started squirting me with water to keep me alive. And, oh, actually, I'm a little dehydrated right now. Yeah, how about you? And actually, yeah, you're right. You look a little dehydrated after your last talk. But, anyway, they stuck me in the bathtub and they brought me to Scripps, and so that's how I got here on land.
Oh,
you know?
welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Have you ever visited the land before?
Oh, yeah, actually, I'm 2,000 years old, right? So, yeah, I've been here before. Yeah, right. So, well, many years ago, I discovered a place you call Easter Island. And I went in there, and the natives were so excited to see me, they actually worshipped me for 200 years, and they built these sculptures on the island to me, and unfortunately the antenna have cracked off. So, but that's, that was for me, really.
So those giant sculptures with the noses, those
Yeah,
are
those were me. Yeah, my nose used to be bigger back then. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Was that the only time, or?
Well, actually, I washed up on what was probably called Italy back then, and all of a sudden, a bunch of people started running at me, screaming, "Cioppino, Cioppino,"
Oh,
and soup. Yeah,
fish.
they wanted to make me into like a fish stew. So I kind of got out of there pretty fast, actually. But then, this is sort of my third time, and yeah, that's it.
Well, welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about your early life.
Well, I had a lot of brothers and sisters. We were born, and unfortunately what happened was we were just kind of hanging out, and a big, oh, by the way, this talk, I know you guys have a rating for talks, like PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah, this talk might be rated C5. Yeah, so if there's anybody less than C5 out in the audience, I'll change this.
There's going to be some
Yeah,
stuff.
so we have to be careful about that. Anyway, all my brothers and sisters got wiped out, and they got
Wait,
with a fish wiped
A
us
fish?
out. Fish!
What fish? No, you're just telling me it's a fish.
Sorry, I got a little excited. Yeah, that kind of scares me.
Yeah, so you'd be scared by
Yeah,
fish.
Oh, what?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I gathered from my deep studies of copepods that
Right.
you go through something called metamorphosis.
Yeah. Well, you guys call it molting. We shed our skin and we completely transform ourselves it's kind of like going through what you call psychoanalysis, you know, and we grow these new legs, and it's really really quite a transformation. You know?
Is it surprising when you wake up one morning with a new leg?
Yeah, you know, right. You know, that's pretty surprising when you wake up with a new leg. Yeah. I got one.
It's never happened to me.
Yeah, well, you keep the ones you have. You know, I had one to stand on after that. And
so what do you do with these new legs?
well, we use them for swimming. You know, basically swimming around.
You find it's more efficient for?
Oh, whoa,
sorry.
Please.
That's okay. Quite a transformation.
Okay. Yeah.
So, how did you get so big? I mean, you're clearly larger than your average coach.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just kept eating and eating and eating. You know, they're doing the PCR on me to figure out what's going on. The transcriptomics, they're still working on it, so I can't really tell you what's happening. But I'm sure they're going to figure it out someday. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about your daily life in the ocean. Well, what do you do for fun or recreation or entertainment?
Well, basically, you know, we have sex, basically, right? Yeah, just like you guys, you know. And so what happens is I bundle all my sperm up into a sack, and then I affix it to the female of my choice, of course, if she's, you know, consensual, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then I stick it on her. But, you know, the problem is we only do it once a year. Kind of like you, probably. Yeah. You know, you probably just do it once a year, looking at you. Yeah.
And what else do you do down there?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, really. We play a lot of games, you know, and so one of the games it's called Glick the Plick.
Glick the Plick.
Yeah, well, we kind of rub our mandibles together and make noises.
Okay.
You know, I figured out how to speak your language.
I'm impressed.
And so, yeah, it's the funniest thing, you know, because partly our enemies are these deep water fish you guys called, like McTophids, Big Mac Tophids or something. Yeah.
High fat ones.
Yeah. So basically, we fake them out. We go hang out near a big ball of sea snot. Yeah,
sea snot.
Yeah.
Marine snow or something.
Right. Yeah. And then the guy comes to eat us, and we quickly get out of the way. And he eats the marine snow. It's the funniest thing you've ever saw. I mean, every copepod in the ocean was laughing at that point. I mean, it was so hysterical. The McTophids, and I guess you had to be there. Yeah.
Odd sense of humor.
Yeah.
So, Glick the Plick. That's lovely.
Yeah.
So, how else do you communicate?
You know, we.
Oh my God! What's that smell?
Pheromones.
Oh God! It smells like you ate asparagus or something.
Yeah. Well, it arouses a reaction. You know, I save my best smells for the females that I want to mate with. And you know, looking at you, you could use some help. So maybe I could excrete some smell on you right now. Yeah. And then you could find a female to hang your sperm sac on. Maybe tonight. You'll get lucky. You know what I mean? Looks like about a year anyway. So.
Thank you. What about sounds?
Well, we don't really make sounds like you guys. We just kind of rub our body parts together and make sounds like, chukka chukka and puka puka, things like that.
And what does that mean?
We don't know. It's a kind of nonverbal communication. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, it means, you look cute and wait a year.
What if a fish comes by?
Don't talk about those things. They get me nervous again. Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, well, one of the things that we think we know about you guys is that you have this diel vertical migration. Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, a lot of things you think about us are really wrong. But in this case, you actually lucked out and got it right.
I got that right.
Yeah. But it didn't start that way. It didn't start that way because years ago, we used to horizontally migrate. We would go from one place to the other without changing, going up and down, right?
Horizontal migration.
Yeah, it was great, but it didn't really get you anywhere. No. And we still had to eat all the stuff that was around us, So what happened, a few of us actually mastered the McTophet language.
Oh.
Yeah, not me.
No,
but we had a few good, it was Bev and Shirley.
Oh, Bev and Shirley.
Yeah.
Speak
They were linguists, actually.
Okay.
So anyway, they overheard the McTophets talking about going up.
Yes.
And we figured it would be a good idea. And so they actually did go up.
And?
They never came back.
Okay.
So a few other people tried it, a few of us, and then actually they came back and told us there's food up there, and if you're burned out and you don't want to eat any more meat, there's good vegetables, and so we started doing that. It really caught on. I mean, I was walking around the show here, those acoustic records. Shit, man, all the plankton are doing it these days, I mean,
So you copepods are real trendsetters.
Yeah, we set the trends for everyone.
And has everyone just forgotten that you used to horizontally migrate? Or?
Well, there's a few people, a few pods still do it, actually.
Horizontal migrators.
There's a few horizontal migrators.
People still dance disco. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see, where are we? So now that you're on the terrestrial world, what sorts of fun things are you doing?
Well, I mean, I like to watch TV. I watch a lot of TV.
You watch TV?
Yeah.
With your one eye spot.
Well, it's kind of tough. I have to scan it, like this. and I really like art. I like Motherwell, and Malevich painted white on white. I had no problem with that.
Oh, yeah,
exactly. But I do get to watch TV. And,
who do you like on TV?
Well, actually, I like SpongeBob, but you kind of got it wrong. Plankton, I think, is much too mean.
Copepods aren't that angry.
No, we're nice. I mean, really. Yeah, except when we eat each other and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but well, I mean, come on, that's it's a jungle out there.
Well, since you mentioned SpongeBob SquarePants, I've always wondered how they cook the Krabby Patties underwater.
Yeah.
How do they?
You'll have to read my book.
Oh,
We're going to talk about that later.
All right.
Okay.
We'll get to your book shortly.
Yeah,
So what else do you watch there on MTV?
Well, I really like MTV. And I mean, I hope, that's why I was checking to see if there anybody less than a C5 in this audience. Because my favorite MTV is Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, really. And I'd really like to hang my sperm sack on her. But, I mean, I'm just worried she's so brightly colored that she might be toxic.
So, what else since you've been up here? So watching TV?
Yeah, well, we eat.
You eat? How do you eat?
Well, we just kind of, push the food in. I mean, when I started, it was really gooey.
Okay.
And now that I'm this big, it just kind of like, it's tougher.
Okay.
So I just eat soup, and then, soup, a lot of soup, and then,
chicken, I'm guessing.
Well, everything tastes like chicken, but, and then, I sleep for about 6 months. It's hard, and then, I mean, the other thing is, when I go to the bathroom, like you guys poo in air, I mean, it's disgusting.
And what do you do?
I take a bath.
To poo?
Poo in the bath, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're swimming around in poo anyway, so what's the difference?
That's delightful.
Yeah.
All right. Since you sleep for 6 months of the year, it must be hard to keep a job.
Well, I've been looking at getting a few jobs, I went to the American Museum of Natural History in New York, and the second they saw me, they started talking about getting a cab and something to do with skin, and I mean taxidermy. Taxidermy.
Stuffed.
Yeah. So I got out of there,
Good
basically.
idea.
And right now I'm working at the kelp tank at the Birch Aquarium.
Oh, you're in Scratch.
Yeah. But I kind of like it there.
You have an appointment there?
I'm a assistant professor there.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
In what field?
Psychology.
Of course. and how's that going?
Pretty good, I mean, everybody's vertically migrating when I start to lecture, and I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book?
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your book called?
It's kind of a pun. I don't know if you'll get it. It's called Peas in the Pod.
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 Peas with the pod.
Peas in the pod, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a joke, like a play on your language, basically.
I don't really get it.
Yeah. Well, I can give you an excerpt from that book. If I want to inspire people, yeah. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
We have
Well, here it is.
Audience.
When times get too turbulent, go below the mixed layer.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very pragmatic.
I wrote a
Yeah.
paper about that one.
You did, actually?
So, what do you think about the research we've been doing on copepods?
Well, let me say first of all, this may be a little controversial, but I think that torture should be illegal.
Torture?
Yeah, torture. Whether it's in the case of vertebrates, invertebrates, even down to the archaea.
Are we
Yeah. I was just at a talk yesterday. They cut off the tail of a copepod.
That's
I
just
couldn't believe
shocking.
it. Yeah. Just because we, are lower life forms, you can't capture us, tie us up, glue us to stuff, to hair, do all kinds of perverted things to us. We deserve equal rights, and I may run for election on that campaign.
Fair enough. I think you'd have
Yeah,
a good
pheromone.
chance in
Yeah,
Kansas.
pheromone.
Pheromone.
Yeah, pheromone.
I see.
And as you might know,
Yeah.
I've read some of your very own papers.
Yes.
With that guy, what's his name? Fluffy, Faffy, Juffy.
Oh, Jaffe.
Yeah, that's it. That's the guy. Yeah. Tying us up, shining blue lights on us, expecting us to behave normally. No wonder we were pooing our brains out. What do you think was going to happen?
That's great footage of it, though.
Yeah.
All right. And so what are you thinking of doing now?
Well, I'm not really sure, because I'm thinking of going back into the ocean. I hear about this global warming like you just talked about, and rising sea levels, so, it might be a better place to be than on land. Increasing carbon dioxide might be more plants to eat, but I'm not sure, I'm not sure I want to go back in the ocean.
Why is that?
Well, you guys keep throwing your garbage into the sea, and we mistake it for food, we wind up dead. It's hard to get oxygen, we can't go down as far as we used to. These harmful algal blooms that burning my exoskeleton. It's really, 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 really bad, They smell bad, and I even heard that some of your vertebrates don't believe that there are big changes happening in the sea.
It's shocking.
I know, and I suspect, I have a hypothesis on that.
Tell me your hypothesis.
Well, I think it's because they spend too much time in that place you call Washington.
Oh, Washington, D.C.
Yeah. It seems to induce behavioral changes in a lot of folks, and they just sit around and scream at each other. Yeah, and now let me just tell you something about it. From my point of view, we have creatures in the sea that just sit around and scream at each other, the whales, the dolphins, and the truth is nobody pays any attention to them. These vertebrates need to get a clue.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, Pod. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and so let's thank our 2,000-year-old... would be willing to answer some questions. Is that true?
Sure.
He just has to hydrate a bit.
Yeah.
Questions from the audience. Don't be squirting my back. Oh, here we have a question from...
Why do you have only one eye?
Why do I have only one eye? You're a copepod biologist. Why don't you answer your own question?
He's a psychologist.
Yeah, give me a break here. Come on, baby, let's do the bipedal locomotion. You know what I mean? We're all not the same, I'm not into teleology, I'm sorry.
We have another question over here, yes.
So, Pod, why don't you go to Washington and fix the problems?
Well, it's, I think it's going to be a big problem. If I showed up there, they'd probably just, serve me for dinner at one of those restaurants, So it's a problem for all of us to figure out how to fix the problem.
I think they've elected weirder people than you.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah.
Mostly from Kansas.
Yeah, probably with two eyes, though.
Not necessarily, but sure. Are there other
Maybe
questions?
more neurons, but I'm not sure they're using them.
Have you ever thought about podcasting?
Yeah, we took that out of the routine. I wanted to thank Steve Jobs for naming something after me, and you know, the iPod. And podcast sounds kind of scary, but we'll use you for our next comedy routine. Don't worry.
Are there other questions out there for the 2,000-year-old CocoaPod? That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all for
very much.
coming. Now do his escape response behind the scenes. So thank you. Hope to see you in 2 years at the next Humor and Science session at the next Ocean Sciences meeting. Thank you so much. Thanks to